So basically what an intrusive thought is it's an image or a picture that you don't want to see. They're disturbing, they're gross, and they're really distressing when you have them. It's a horrible feeling that only someone who's had them can really understand what it's like. So what do? Today I'm going to give you the 6 steps that I have personally used for intrusive thoughts or images, and I hope help you as well. Now, the first thing to keep in mind is that you can go to a doctor, you can get a prescription, and that will help. That has helped people. Now, I just don't like pills, so that's why I haven't gone, but there are 2 all-natural alternatives that you can think about. One is St. John's wort, and I personally have found this extremely effective. And when I took it, I didn't find any side effects at all. Now, I wasn't pregnant at the time or breastfeeding, but I still didn't find any side effects at all. Now, it does take a while to build up in your system, so it does take at least 3 weeks to build up in your system. So that's the downside to it. But when it does, any distressing thought or image that comes into your head, it leaves. It's quite amazing stuff. The other one is truehope.com, and it's the most researched supplement in the world. So you can go and take a look at it. They do have a toll-free number, and you can go ahead and give them a call. All that is it's all natural. It's a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals compact, and it does amazing things. I've seen someone take it for depression, and within 4 days, the depression had lifted off of them. And they had that depression previously for decades. Now, it's not as cheap as St. John's wort. St. John's wort, you can get 150 pills for like $20. And it's available in your vitamin section in any CVS or drugstore like that. So let's get to the 6th step. The first step is to understand that just because you're thinking it doesn't mean it's going to come true. 98% of the population has intrusive thoughts. So if you speak to a therapist, if you talk to your husband, if you talk to your partner, it's a common thing and they may be aware of it. So you don't need to feel ashamed talking to someone about it. And just remember, just because you think it doesn't mean you're going to do it. They're 2 completely different things. Thoughts and actions are 2 completely different things. Now, the second thing you can try that I didn't find that helpful was to focus on it later. Say, right now I'm in the middle of something, I'm gonna focus on it later. I didn't find that helpful because sometimes the thoughts just kept coming even though I was trying to focus on the present and trying to deal with the present. Step number 3 is to understand that if you are having intrusive thoughts, if you do have some type of OCD or health anxiety, first of all, there's a ton of help out there for you. And second of all, is to keep in mind that generally what people with health anxiety, for example, and health anxiety is when you're worried that something is medically wrong with you or your child, like you're worried about this, but you've gone to the doctor, you've gotten tests, but still there's these nagging thoughts in your head. A lot of times that's health anxiety. And health anxiety is where you're searching for 100% guarantee that nothing will happen to you or your child. There is no such thing. There's no such guarantee. And so one of the reasons that you enter into the Googling, that you enter into the compulsion is that you're looking for a 100% guarantee. So when an intrusive thought comes in your head and you're afraid that you're going to harm your baby, remember that yes, you may do that, but yes, you may also not do that. Both options are possibilities, which leads me to the next step. The next step, we're going to focus on catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is something that sometimes people do where they jump to the worst case scenario. So something little may go wrong, but they're already thinking of the worst case scenario. If you do that, get into the habit, first of all, noticing when you do that, when you do start catastrophizing, which means looking at the worst case that could possibly happen. And realize and then after you get used to noticing when you do that, put a stop sign up. Picture a stop sign in your head because there's no validity to those thoughts that follow anything that has been catastrophized. It's a cognitive defect, which means it's not based in any reality. So anytime you think, oh my gosh, what if this happens? What if I do this? And you start going down that road, I recommend that you picture a stop sign because that will reinforce the fact that there's no validity to what you're thinking. Again, you can speak to a therapist about this. There's no shame in doing that. But let's go on to the next one. Okay, now we're at the 2 most powerful steps. The 2 most powerful steps. The first step that I recommend, that I find helpful, is when that thought comes into your head, leave it. Don't fight it, don't do anything, picture it, and it'll start to get wavy and like you won't be able to see it as clear until it fades away. That's the way it is with images. Have you ever tried to picture really anything for more than a few seconds? It's going to fade away. But if that doesn't help you, this is the one that I find most helpful. And when I still get these images sometimes, this is what I find most helpful. And it almost brings a smile to my face because I know I'm going to play the alphabet game. The alphabet game involves, you can do it for fruits and vegetables, you can do it for animals, you can do it for prominent sports figures, you can do it for politicians, you can do it for actors and actresses, really anything. And now you have to challenge yourself. You can't do the same one every time, only because the whole point of this is to actively challenge yourself and get your mind fully engaged and picturing something else. So I'm gonna do it with fruits and vegetables. So it's kind of a challenge now. Usually I do animals, but right now for this, I'm gonna do it with fruits and vegetables. So A is for apples, B is bananas, C is cauliflower, D is daikon. E, I don't know, I'm out of E. But the point is is that I find it a lot easier to do with animals, but the point is that you're then thinking about those. You're then thinking about those vegetables. You're then thinking about whatever it is. So it's almost an immediate thing to take you from the image you don't want to see to another image. Now, really, anytime you get an intrusive thought, it's great to do image replacing and just think of something happy or something positive or something that makes you smile, even if it's Mickey Mouse, or Disney princesses, whatever it is. Maybe you can recite the Disney princesses, but something that gets you focusing and picturing something else. But that's why I like the alphabet game, because it really engages you. Can you say, please like and subscribe?
Please like to like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.